Hey guys, I'm here today with a review for this Rustic Lakehouse candle by 719 Walnut Avenue, which if you've never heard of is the line of candles from Walmart. So I had never heard of these. Let me steady out this camera. So I had first heard about these candles through Instagram, and I saw a picture of it. I forgot who it was that posted it, and it was a picture of the Caribbean candle and just saying how like Walmart, no, they didn't even mention Walmart, they just said that someone had come out with these copies of Bath & Body Works, like just trying to be like Bath & Body Works candles. So I was like, whatever, that's cool, it happens all the time. And then on YouTube, I started seeing so many videos of reviews and hauls and purchases of these candles, and I have to say, Scent me even posted about the fall Walnut Avenue candles, and they looked really tempting. And then she mentioned that they were like $3 to $4, and I was like, all right, I'm really not a Walmart girl. I think I've been to Walmart like once or twice in my life. There's one kind of near me, but it's like out of the way to get to. If I need anything from a store like that, I'm super close to 2 Targets, and I usually end up just going to Target if anything, so I never really have a need to go to Walmart. And then this morning, I'm watching YouTube again, and Sean posted a review of these Walmart Yankee candles. And I'm like, okay, because I didn't even know Walmart had candles to begin with. So I'm like, they have Yankee candles, they have these cute Bath & Body Works looking candles, like I need to check this out. And then I know they have like a huge grocery section. I need to go to the grocery store anyway, so I was like, you know what? Maybe it'll be cheaper, I'll just go to the store. So I went there today, and they barely had any Walnut Avenue candles in my Walmart. They were like hidden in the back corner of the candle section, tucked away from everything else. They were like on a bottom shelf. They were covered. They were disgusting. Like you can see all the fingerprints on that lid. That is not from me. It was like that. The lids were dirty, the glass, the jars were dirty. The candles were a hot mess. And I was like, all right, whatever. And like I said, buried in the corner. So I'm like, you know what, maybe this is a good thing. Maybe they're all on clearance. I go to the register, they were not on clearance. They were like $4.97 or something like that, but for $5. And I was like, yeah, whatever. There were only 2 that I liked. I got this one and I got the Sangria, and then the other ones they had were like Tiki Beach, the Caribbean ones. They had no fall ones, and I'm really like up to my neck in summer candles, so I'm like, ugh, no more. I got this Rustic Lakehouse because I really love the label, and it was so fucked up what happened. So I put everything in my trunk. They did not wrap these candles. They didn't put them in tissue paper. They didn't put them in anything. They just legitimately chucked them in a plastic grocery bag and sent me on my way. So I have a big like tote bag that I use for my groceries, so I just put that in with like all the other stuff, but I was pretty gentle with it. Like I placed it in, it was towards the top so it wouldn't get crushed, and it was in my trunk. I don't think it bounced around too much. I just took it straight back home. And then when I got back home and I was taking everything out of the bag and I removed the candle, this one here was shattered. The glass was like broken down the side. One of the wicks was like embedded in the wax, because the wax I guess melted in my car in the like 10-minute drive from Walmart back to my house. The wax like completely melted, and this did not happen with the Sangria candle. It only happened with this Rustic Lakehouse. The wax like softened, melted. It felt like a melted chocolate. Like it was that kind of like gooey type of feeling. So I was so upset because I was like, oh, you know what? I'll make it into wax tarts, and that's that. I like for a second considered going back and returning it, and I was like, no, for $5, like I'm not, it wouldn't even be worth the drive. And then the other thing was, what was I going to exchange it for? There was no other candle that I wanted, and this was the only lake house candle that they had, and they only had one of the Sangria, so I couldn't even get a second one of that. So I was like, no, I'm not returning it. That's just pointless. So luckily, I remembered I had just finished suntan. If you saw my empties video from last week, I still had this jar. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. So this is actually, the wax is repurposed in my suntan jar, my cleaned out suntan. So this is actually a Bath & Body Works glass jar. I just saved the Walmart the Walnut Avenue lid. Yeah, so what I did was, you know, it was cracked. It wasn't totally shattered, but it was cracked, and like a big triangular chip had fallen off. So I had to salvage it somehow. I wrapped it in a kitchen towel, smashed it with a gravel a couple times, and the wax was so soft anyway that it literally just slid right out of the shattered glass. I took off the big pieces in just giant chunks, wrapped them up, threw them out, and that was that. I just dropped this straight into the suntan jar. I figured by the time it melts down, it'll stick itself into here, because this was a little bit tinier than this jar, but you can't even notice it now. Maybe you can see it a little bit at the bottom there. But yeah, it went back right in perfectly, and like I said, the label was my favorite part. So yes, I did ever so carefully peel. There's little tiny shards of glass right here. You can see like a little bump. I ever so carefully, gingerly peeled it off of the shattered glass and pressed it while it was still sticky right back onto this glass. So don't throw out all of your candles. Save a couple glasses, have a couple laying around. You never know what you're going to use them for. Use for the most random thing. All right, so now let's get into the candle, the performance. As you already saw when I turned this guy around, there's quite a lovely wax pool. The only reason you can see it's uneven is because my windowsill here is a bit on a slant. So if I turn it around and have the suntan label face me, it'll even out that wax pool, or I can put it on this flat surface here. I just like the way it looks between the picture frames. So it pooled out beautifully. This has been lit for about 2 hours. It started pooling out almost instantly. The flames look a little small because I was just fucking around with it and playing with it, but they're fine. They're not puny. They're not like super high. The wick was actually huge when I got this. I trimmed it down almost in half because it was just too big and it was going to be all crazy. Scent throw is average. Maybe a touch stronger than a Yankee candle. Maybe I would give it about a 5 or a 6. Nowhere near Bath & Body Works candle territory, but not as weak as a Yankee. So I'm pleased with it, and this was actually a pretty light scent, so I didn't have the highest expectations for it anyway. When it first lit, within that first half hour, I got this really strange waxy scent that just smelled like burnt wax, and like not in a good way, like hot melted crayons type of burnt wax. So I wasn't really crazy about that. I don't know if that was, maybe it had something to do with the catastrophe this candle's already been through. I mean, this is a trauma candle. It's been repurposed. It's in a new body. Like, I feel like you need to just be gentle with it. But no, for under $5 for $4 and change for a Walmart candle, I'll be honest, my expectations were ridiculously low. I was like, this was probably a waste of $10 that I spent on these two. But I have to say, for the price that I paid for where it came from, I'm impressed. I am. And if I find the fall candles, I'm probably going to pick up a few. See how they do. And I'm liking this. I really am. Yeah, and that weird waxy scent has gone away. And I just have this nice, it does smell like kind of lakey. Like if you walked into a fresh lake house and you smelled like wet greens, like that mossy, like wet forest type of scent, or like what you would imagine smelling walking into a wooden, humid, wet type of lake house, like humid type of atmosphere, like that fresh, foresty, earthy scent, which, as you know, those earthy scents are my jam. I love them so much, and this is a nice, fresh, relaxing, perfect end of summer candle. This is going to be a really nice one for August. So for me, it's 1 thumbs up, not 2, but not a thumbs down, right smack in the middle. Nice job, Walmart. Next time, don't cheap out on the glass, because that wasn't fun.